Raider Nation, what do you think? Should the Las Vegas Raiders go out and sign OBJ? Go ahead and type OBJ for yes or no BJ for no. And in fact, I'm actually going to make this the pinned comment on today's show. I want you to scroll on down and get your votes in. And if you want to see my take on whether or not the Raiders should go out and make this move, I actually dropped a video just a few minutes ago over on Locals. If you're looking for more expanded access, more videos here from Raider Nation, then all I want you to do is go to raidersport.locals.com or simply go to the pinned comment and click the link to get whether or not the Raiders should go out and get Odell Beckham Jr. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. I got a lot of news and rumors to go through for today. We're going to be talking about Dave Ziegler, the general manager, and his feelings around the whole Davante Adams trade. We're also going to be looking at some potential trade candidates for the Silver and Black. I'm going to be talking about the NFL Draft. And at the very end of today's show, which is probably why you clicked on it, do the Raiders actually have interest in the Honey Badger? The first story that we're breaking down here, though, is around general manager Dave Ziegler, because Peter King spoke a few days ago and said that Ziegler was, in quotes, extremely unhappy giving up a second-round pick for Davante Adams. Now, I've seen a lot of reactions to this on social media. I've seen a lot of reactions out there from other podcasters. What I do not want you guys to think is that Ziegler did not think it was a good deal for Adams. In fact, Ziegler was one of the first people to go ahead and try to make this deal actually happen. The context in terms of what he was talking about definitely got taken out of context. Ziegler simply was upset that they don't have a first or second round pick this year, which, yeah, no shit. A lot of people want those extra picks, especially with their first draft here in Las Vegas. So I just know that he wants to try to get a second or potentially a first-round pick, and I think that Ziegler could go ahead and make a move because this has been the craziest offseason in NFL history for just win babies, just believe it baby, right? I mean, there's just no doubt about it. And I really do think that Ziegler has shown that they're going to go ahead and do whatever it takes to make this team competitive, which maybe that means the Raiders could trade away some draft picks, right? Because as it stands right now, after the whole Davante Adams trade, you have 5 picks in the 2022 NFL Draft. You have a third-round pick, number 86 overall. You have 126 overall, 164, 165 in round 5. No 6th-round pick, and then a round 7 pick. So here's my question to you before I break down a few players that I think the Raiders could potentially move on if that's the route that they want to go. Would you rather, we're going to play Would You Rather today, would you rather trade players or draft picks? Go ahead and type players down in the comments if you'd rather move on from the dudes already on our team, or would you rather move on from draft picks? Go ahead and type draft. Before I tell you about some of the players that I believe that could actually be on the trade market, I'm not going to say that they're going to get traded, but if the Raiders made a move, they're going to be on the list, and we definitely would make a video about it. But if you bleed silver and black, if you're a diehard Raider fan and you hate the Chiefs, the Donkeys, the 49ers, and the Chargers, then this is the channel for you. This is the year the Raiders are going to win the AFC West. And if you believe that, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because this is going to be one hell of a year. In terms of some of the players that I believe could be potential trade candidates, I'm not saying I would trade any of the players on this list. However, if somebody were to tell me, Mitch, which 5 players on the Raiders do you think are the most likely to get signed that we could actually get some draft compensation for, these would be the 5 players I'd go with. And the number that you see next to them is how much I would want for that player if the trade were to happen right now. Like, I look over to my left, get an update. All right, the trade happened. I'd want a first-round pick for Darren Waller. The reason why Waller's on this list is because there are legitimate concerns about his contract. And if Waller's like, hey, pay me a lot of money or else I'm going to sit out, and if Ziegler and McDaniels like, no, we're not going to do that, you could see a trade. Don't think it's going to happen, though. Josh Jacobs, I know this organization has already gotten out and gotten a lot of other running backs. I don't see them bringing back Jacobs next year on a 5th-year option, so why not try to go out and trade him for a 3rd-round pick now? Trayvon Mullen, I want it for a 4th. However, with all the rumors lingering around Stephon Gilmore, if you go out and sign Gilmore, Trayvon Mullen's trade value goes down to probably a 5th. Jonathan Abram, I take him for a 5th-round pick right now. I just don't see him ever materializing in the National Football League. And then Roderick Teamer. Roderick Teamer, I take him for a 6th. He was more of a Gus Bradley player, even though he might have a little bit of use in this defense. So let me hear y'all down in the comment section right now. If, let's just say, an NFL team calls you up, all right, we want a player, who would you go ahead and you trade away? I'm not saying a player that you want to trade away, but name a player that you think the Raiders could, because that's part of this job. Doing things that kind of suck, because I know we all get really close to a lot of these dudes, but be honest with me. Name a player the Raiders could end up trading away. A player that could be added to this team, and in fact, I actually think he's going to be a Las Vegas Raider by the end of the day, and if it happens, I'll be more than likely making a video about it. He is visiting Las Vegas. This is Trevor Siemian, who played on the New Orleans Saints last season, also spent some time as a starter with the Denver Broncos, I believe back in like 2015, 2016. Has basically been a backup ever since then. Marcus Mariota signed a 2-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons, and I get it. The Raiders signed Garrett Gilbert last week, but Gilbert to me is just somebody who you're going to have as a practice squad quarterback, considering the fact that the last time he was with Josh McDaniels, he was a practice squad quarterback. Siemian last season, I thought, did an okay job with the New Orleans Saints when he had to fill in after Jameis Winston went down. Won a few games, had 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1,154 yards. But let's get one thing clear. Trevor Siemian is not going to win you football games, and this is a move that you go out and hopefully somebody who you have confidence in learning the playbook, being a solid backup, and just helping out guys around him. In 29 starts, he's played in 33 games. It's a 58.9% completion percentage, 6,843 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 27 interceptions. So let's go ahead and get our red pens out here. If the Raiders sign Trevor Siemian, what's your grade? Is it an A? You absolutely love it. B, it's a good move. C, it's an average move. D, you hate it. F, it's the worst effing move the Raiders could have possibly done. I'd go ahead and give it a C grade because Trevor Siemian's actually been a name that I've mentioned a few times here on the Raiders Report when we talked about past quarterbacks, because the way that I viewed it is this. You invest as much as you possibly can building around Derek Carr, and once Derek Carr gets his contract extension, you put dudes behind him who you believe can help get the most out of Derek Carr. Let's face it, if DC goes down, the season's over. You're not going to spend a whole bunch of backup money on a quarterback. The Raiders already did that with Mariota. That simply did not work out. So Siemian, you get him as a cheap backup, somebody who you know is going to be able to make people better at practice, and then also you have him next to Garrett Gilbert. But as it stands right now, Derek Carr's the QB1. Garrett Gilbert, and I'm sorry, Gilbert, it's probably one of the creepiest pictures I've ever seen. As your QB2, he looks like he's going to be trying out for the next Joker movie, and I know we've been talking a lot about Batman, but yeah, that's just the truth there, Garrett. If you go out and you sign Siemian, Siemian then turns into your backup. Garrett Gilbert turns into your quarterback 3. So Siemian's essentially your Marcus Mariota replacement. No, Siemian's never going to step on the field. And Garrett Gilbert turns into your Nathan Peterman replacement as your practice squad quarterback. So I know at the beginning of today's show I talked about the OBJ segment. I've also put out a ton of other videos there, like my NFL Combine, my one-chip challenge. I go live at least once a week. I drop 2 exclusive videos every single week over on Locals. And the first 100 annual supporters on Locals are going to get a free Raiders Report Founders t-shirt. So if you want more Raiders content, go ahead. Become a member, RaidersReport.locals.com. The link, again, is available pinned on today's YouTube video. The reason why you're clicking on this video is because you got the push. It said, is Tyrann Mathieu headed to Las Vegas? There's been multiple reports, multiple rumors out there that the Raiders are interested in the Honey Badger. Personally, I think he would be a very good fit with the Raiders. I think the Honey Badger would be a very good fit on just about any NFL team because of his versatility. He's probably not so much of a free safety anymore. Probably can be still somebody you could throw up in the box, still be a good coverage safety, a definite big-time upgrade over Jonathan Abram. But I do believe if this deal ends up going down, just like I said, if the Raiders sign Stephon Gilmore, I think that's bad news for Trayvon Mullen. If the Raiders go out and they sign the Honey Badger, I believe that's bad news for Roderick Teamer, and I believe that's bad news for Jonathan Abram. They could be on the way out. When you look at the past 3 seasons, right? This is where he's become more of a notable name. I've loved him since he's come out of LSU. He brings that fire. He brings that competitive edge, and that's something that I really, truly believe never leaves certain players. And that's what I like to see on the football field. Plus, I've also seen what he's done with Kansas City and that defense the past 3 seasons. 76 tackles last year, 6 PBUs, 3 interceptions. Is he what he was 2-3 years ago? No, but as different sets that Patrick Graham's going to want to run, whether that's a 4-2-5, whether that's a 3-4, hell, whether they even try to run some 4-3, I want the Honey Badger out there because he's going to be able to do a lot of things for this defense. So give me your thoughts, y'all. Should the Raiders go out and sign Tyrann Mathieu? I want you to go ahead and spam that S for sign, or I want you to go ahead and type P for pass. My answer would be yes. He's a Swiss Army knife. If you can go out and do it, you should go ahead and do it. I like the idea of building this defense. I obviously still want the Raiders to go out and get a right tackle. Still want the Raiders to go out and get a left guard. However, if you can go out and get a Swiss Army knife in Patrick Graham's defense, I really think that's one of the best moves you can do. And the more and more I'm thinking about it, I would rather have Trayvon Mullen, Rock Ya-Sin, and the Honey Badger than, let's just say, Stephon Gilmore, Jonathan Abram, and Rock Ya-Sin. That's a better 3 duo than what we currently have already. And the fact that the Chiefs just traded away Tyreek Hill, you now can go out and get somebody that knows the Chiefs very well, that knows that offense very well. I just believe that you take that Swiss Army knife that Tyrann Mathieu is, and you just dig it. You dig it into the back of the Chiefs, because right now that franchise is down. Whether they're going to admit it or not, you need to now put the nail in the coffin, put your foot on the Kansas City Chiefs' throat, because for the very first time since Patrick Mahomes has been the starting quarterback of that team, I'll say that this division is wide open. So if you guys made it this far in the video, all I want you to do is this: spam FKC, because for the very first time, I think there's a legitimate argument that if the season were to start today, you could make the argument that the Chiefs are the worst team in this division. And if you believe that, go ahead and spam FKC.